It's Friday, May 27th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network, back in our Shelton studio after a busy week. I'm Kate Czaplinski with a rundown of the latest local news, a look at the biggest stories of the week, and in preparation for Memorial Day weekend, Doug Smith, our editorial cartoonist, will join us to share his cartoons honoring the holiday. Donald Ang will also join us for sports and a look back on this day in history. But first, on to today's news. The Connecticut Supreme Court has upheld its landmark ruling declaring the state's death penalty unconstitutional and abolishing capital punishment. The court released its 5-2 decision on Thursday in the appeal of Russell Peeler Jr., who had been on death row for ordering the 1999 killings of a woman and her 8-year-old son in Bridgeport. The boy, B.J. Brown, was to testify against Peeler in another murder case. Chief State's Attorney Kevin Kane said state officials will move forward to re-sentence the individuals currently on death row to a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of release. And the Connecticut Post is reporting that the children of the woman whose body was found Monday on a beach in Stratford said they wanted her friends to know that she has been identified and that she was a woman who was proud of her Native American heritage, loved the outdoors, and enjoyed the shoreline. Colleen Ann Kelly, 52 years old, of Stratford and Indian Island, Maine, was a mother of 3 who provided care to the elderly. That, according to her children when they spoke to Hearst, Connecticut media on Thursday. As we reported earlier this week, police are investigating the death, although officials said there were no signs of foul play. Kelly was found Monday morning fully clothed on the beach near Marnick's restaurant. It was her birthday. And in other news today, in Shelton, tears fell and tempers flared as the Board of Education stood behind its decision once again to not grant the Conklin's family request for an honorary diploma to be awarded to them for their late son Eddie at the Shelton High annual commencement ceremony on June 10th. Nearly 75 people showed up in support of the family's push for the board to reconsider its offer to award the family an honorary diploma at the senior awards ceremony, along with a moment of silence at graduation for both Conklin and the late Christian Noge. There wasn't a person who publicly voiced their support for the board's decision. The topic wasn't on the agenda, but when board member Kathy Yolish made a motion to add it in, that was denied by a vote of 6-3. Eddie Conklin was killed in a car crash earlier this year in February on Bridgeport Avenue in Shelton and was just 1 English credit and a capstone course credit short of earning his high school diploma. His family said they will continue to push for their son's honorary diploma to be awarded at graduation to commemorate his years of hard work and give family and friends the closure they need. And a Newtown teacher accused of bringing a loaded gun to school last month appeared before a judge for the first time this week. The Danbury News-Time reports that 46-year-old Jason Adams of Curtichick Road in Newtown made a brief appearance Wednesday in State Superior Court in Danbury, where his case was continued to June 30th. Adams had been to the courthouse last month, but at that time he filed paperwork outlining a not guilty plea before the court was even in session. The 8th grade science teacher faces a felony charge of possession of a weapon on school grounds. Adams, who has a valid pistol permit, was arrested April 6th after a Newtown middle school employee told security that Adams appeared to have a weapon concealed under his clothing. When police arrived, they found him with a .45 caliber Colt Defender pistol and 8 bullets. Officials said students were never in any danger and that Adams' weapon was not drawn or used at any point. And in other news today, Milford police arrested a woman they say took her baby into Babies R Us, put the child in a stroller, and then pushed the child and the stroller out of the store without paying for the $200 stroller. 23-year-old Janisha Harris of New Haven was arrested on a warrant May 27th for that crime. She was charged with 6th-degree larceny, risk of injury, and conspiracy to commit 6th-degree larceny. Harris, along with 2 other women and a baby, walked into Babies R Us, placed the baby in the stroller, and walked out of the store, police said. Harris was released from police custody on a promise to appear in court June 21st. And New Canaan police say an intoxicated woman was carrying a gun when she was arrested for trespassing on a Brushy Ridge Road property. Police arrested 51-year-old Donna Lisa Parasini of Stamford just before noon on May 25th when police were dispatched to a residence on Brushy Ridge Road on a report of an unwanted female on the property. When police searched Persiani, they found a Glock handgun in her waistband. A police investigation determined that Persiani drove her vehicle into a parked car that was in the driveway of that residence, causing damage to the vehicle. Police also found a broken garage door window, according to the report. She was held on bond and appeared in court May 26th. And the Trumbull Police Department is reminding parents and adults caring for young children to be mindful of leaving a child unattended in a vehicle. With temperatures now reaching into the 80s and 90s, the conditions inside a vehicle can quickly become life-threatening to babies, toddlers, and young children. 30 to 40 deaths occur nationwide every year as a result of children being left in vehicles. Even with outdoor temperatures in the 60s, the inside temperature of a car can soar to 110 degrees, according to Trumbull Police Lieutenant Leonard Cinto. Leaving a child under the age of 12 unattended in a car can also result in being charged criminally and referral to the Department of Children and Families. Family pets are also susceptible to those conditions, and people are urged to be mindful of the conditions in a closed vehicle or even when one of the windows is partially open. But speaking of high temperatures, going to throw it over to Donald Ang for a look at the forecast today. Don?
That was an excellent segue.
Thank you.
I like that a lot. Not bad forecast for today. The Memorial Day weekend not looking great. Sorry about that, but nothing much we can all do about it. Slight chance of showers and thunderstorms today after noon. Then partly sunny with a high of about 84 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low around 65. Now tomorrow, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms after 2 p.m. Then clearing up with a high of about 90. And that chance of showers and thunderstorms will continue until about 10 p.m. Then the temperatures will dip down to about 63. For a Sunday and Monday, when the parades and cookouts are all going to be happening, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms Sunday, then mostly sunny with a high of 86, about a 20% chance of precipitation. The showers and thunderstorms could continue into the evening, about 40% chance of that. And then for Monday, Memorial Day, showers likely, mainly before 2 p.m., then mostly cloudy with a high near 75. They're calling it a 60% chance of precipitation. So not a great Memorial Day forecast, but you know, it could change. You never know. Right now, outside our Shelton studios, it is a sunny 67 degrees. Kate?
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, we're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Don takes a look back on this day in history. He's also filling in with our Nutmeg Sports Update today, and we have some more news coming up after this.
Connecticut is coming back to hometown banking, to a partner that makes small businesses feel big, where community comes first, where you get the know-how only neighbors can deliver, where saving time is important too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well, bank smart, bank local, bank well. With the 24-month Bank Well Smart CD, you can earn 1.35% APY and raise your rate and add to your CD.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
And we're back on this Friday, May 27th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. And it's time to throw it to Donald Eng's Look Back on This Day in History. Check it out.
If you've ever been camping, you know that starting a fire outside can be a challenge, but sometimes putting one out is impossible. But first we go to 1199. John, that's it, that's his name, just John, crowned King of England. He has a reputation for being a terrible king, which is not entirely his fault. The youngest of 5 sons, he was never intended to do anything of consequence, and therefore never groomed for leadership. But his brother, Richard I, the Lionheart, spent a decade crusading and then starting expensive wars in France. His other 3 brothers died, the crown passed to John. John, by the way, the main villain in the Robin Hood stories. To 1703, Tsar Peter the Great founds the city of St. Petersburg. Today it is the most westernized Russian city and the northernmost city in the world with a population of over 1 million. To 1930, the Chrysler Building in New York City is completed and opens to the public. It held the title of tallest building for less than a year before the Empire State Building surpassed it, but it remains the coolest building. Just look at it. Walter Chrysler intended it to house his car company's offices, but paid for it out of his own pocket so his children could inherit it. Fun facts, the uppermost office in the building is a dentist's office, and the city has never collected a dime of property tax because the land it is on was donated to the Cooper Union for Science and Arts, a nonprofit. And finally, now we go to 1962, a small town in Pennsylvania, for this.
It started in the town landfill. They had a cleanup project to clean up the landfill, and they did this by setting it on fire. And they thought they had the fire out, but it wasn't, and it spread from that pit, which was an old strip mine pit, into this labyrinth of abandoned coal mines underneath Centralia. Beginning in the early 1980s, it was right in 1980, the fire broke through the last of the underground barriers that had been put in, and it started moving under the town of Centralia itself. And the big danger from this was the gases from the fire. And through a monumental series of blunders and inadequate attention over the years, it got to the size underground where it basically destroyed the town of Centralia and everybody had to move.
And of course, 1962, the Centralia mine fire is ignited in the town's landfill above an abandoned coal shaft. The town has since been abandoned and razed. You could drive right past the spot today and not know it. The coal seam is thought to contain enough material to burn for at least another 300 years. That is your look back in history for today, May 27th, and I'm Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much to Don. Getting back to a little more news today. According to New Canaan Advertiser, police officer Ron Bentley has been assigned to work the downtown beat, according to Chief Leon Krolikowski, in an effort to deter criminal activity, enforce traffic laws, and make the village a safer place to both visit and do business in. Bentley will become the town's community impact officer starting May 31st and is expected to walk, ride a bicycle, and connect with merchants, residents, and visitors to the center of town. Here's what he had to say when he spoke to the New Canaan Advertiser.
Hey, Ron Bentley. I will be the Community Impact Officer in the downtown area. It's a good opportunity for the department to get to know the businesses in town, and know the patrons that are coming into town, and for me to keep the community a little bit safer in the downtown area. Exciting position, and I'm looking forward to it.
Krolikowski said that in the recent past, New Canaan has seen out-of-state career criminals come to the town and commit serious crimes. He also said that they've had some serious pedestrian accidents and an increase in distracted driving within the business district. But we're going to throw it back to Donald Eng now for a Nutmeg Sports Update, filling in for Rob today.
Thanks, Kate. You know, it's probably fair to say that Darien, Connecticut is title town, at least as far as lacrosse goes. The Blue Wave swept the boys and girls FCAC championships last night from New Canaan. Let's check out the highlights as seen live on the HAN network.
Going to the far side, here's Granito. Granito starts to move inside. Catherine with the bounce, and it goes in. A 3-0 start for the Rams.
And a little bit of a change up there. Granito went from her normal right-handed shot over to the left.
But now down low and top shelf, scoring that looks like Sammy Stewart to make it a 4-1 game. Trying to split a double team, had it for a moment, now steps to her right, does get in, a one-on-one and scores. A wonderful move by Catherine Granito. It's a 7-1 New Canaan lead. Moving inside, here's Susie Ropp. She stops, now it gets close, bouncer and scoring. Looked like Lesko, it's 7-4.
And it was Lesko, and that was from pretty far out. She was sitting around 15 yards, it looked like, and that's one that O'Day is probably going to want to have back there.
Slowing things down, and off to her left goes Gianna Bruno. Now to the far side, thrown in. Catherine Granito having a day.
And it was a really good possession from the Rams to start the half. Darien turned the pressure up. We saw double teams. We saw players rotating through the zone.
Murphy starts down. Murphy getting close. Murphy throws it home. It's a 2-goal game. Now tosses it off and gives it to Cronin. Cronin, couple of fakes. It's 1 goal now. It's 10-9.
And feed the hot hand.
Oh, a 10-9 game. Murphy the approach. Murphy trying to get it down low. Emma Lesko ties the game. Yep, it would have been one-on-one to the goal. And this is one-on-one to the goal, and Darienne's got their first lead of the day. There is Susie Ropp. It's 11-10. Setting up close. Thrown. Score. Tie game. In an 11-all game, we're down to 30 seconds remaining. Armstrong fakes, gets close, went for the shot, and the save made by Shudell. Now a turnover nearly out in front, scooped up, and a whistle. And, well, we're going to overtime.
For the second year in a row between these two teams, really credit the effort of Darien in the second half.
Had Mia Carroll draped all over her. Ropp with the approach. Ropp, the shot and the goal! And the Darien Blue Wave, in overtime, have won the 2016 FCAC Championship. Casa Grande Field on the campus of Brian McMahon High School in Norwalk. It's the 2016 FCAC Boys Lacrosse Championship on the HAN Network. Side, O'Connell turns back, thrown on net. Cornell up to the task from Holzer.
Cornell is the best goalie in this conference until he loses a game.
But instead, Darien has the answer. It's 1-0. Has Rock Stewart on him. He's going to try to do it himself, and he answers. We're tied at 1.
And
to the far side, spins around, can't get any traction there, so he flings it back. Clayton Burt, the one-timer, and he scores.
And what a pass from O'Connell. He goes over the top of the net. Burt was open. He had to climb the ladder to grab it.
And we will hear a lot more from him throughout the summer and beyond. Here's a blast on net, bouncing up top shelf. Liam Richmond makes it a 2-2 game.
And it's interference against Braden. So Darien awarded the restart right up at midfield, and they try to run quickly.
And Minikis answers 3-2.
At front of the cage, the Rams are in trouble right now.
Oh, and look at the goal from Minikis. Mara slams the stick into the bar. It's a 5-2 game. Rock Stewart, now along comes Cornell.
And that's a behind-the-back shot from Braden that Cornell was able to save from the ground.
Cornell gets knocked down, throws it down the other end. Minikis, 6-2.
I'm positive we just witnessed a hidden ball trick.
I am too. It was not a lax play, but it was a hidden ball trick.
That was absolutely unbelievable, and I still don't think a single player on the New Canaan side knows what just happened.
Now moving, here comes Niffen.
And Rock
to Niffen. Niffen backed out, now starts in. Quick move, down and score. This time, Finley Collins for real. It's a 9-5 game with 3:21 to go. Down to 3. The celebration is official, and the Darien Blue Wave have won the 2016 FCAC Championship.
It was an unbelievable game. It's the outcome we expected, but credit to Darien. It's a slow first half, and they really turned up the pressure and proved that they deserve to be the FCAC champion here in 2016.
So there you have it. Darien goes 2 for 2 in FCAC championship games. On the girls' side, MVP Susie Roop scored twice, including the championship winner in overtime as the Wave rallied to overtake the Rams 12-11 in the girls' game. Emma Lesko, Laura Murphy, and Katie Cronin each scored 3 times for Darien. Catherine Granito led the Rams with 4 goals. On the boys' side, Colin Minikas had a mini hat trick and scored 4 times overall as the Wave scored 5 unanswered en route to a 9-5 victory. Ryan Cornell made 15 saves to earn the MVP award as the Blue Wave won their 3rd straight boys championship. If you're sharp-eyed, you also noted Darien pulled off a hidden ball trick for one of its goals. The decoy worked so well it actually fooled all 4 of our HAN network cameras. Other sports now. Make it 3 in a row in softball for the St. Joseph Cadets. Nicole Williams threw a 3-hitter as the Cadets topped Stanford 7-1. Williams struck out 11 and was named Most Valuable Player. Lauren Blows and Elena Bale each also had 3 hits. Blows also drove in 2 runs. Just one event on the schedule tonight, the FCAC Boys Volleyball Championships at Fairfield Ludlow. It is Darien versus Ridgefield. There are those Blue Wave again. The 2 teams met on April 20th, and Darien won 3-1. Looking forward to next week. The CIAC tournament brackets are out in softball. West Hill, the number 3 seed in Class L. That's the first round of the Class L playoffs, has no fewer than 4 games featuring FCAC teams playing each other. St. Joseph is the top seed in Class M. They have a first-round bye. In baseball, Darien, the 3 seed in Class L. Most of the FCAC teams are in Class L. Ridgefield, Staples, Trumbull, Norwalk, composing the 2 all-FCAC matchups in round 1. St. Joe's, the 20 seed in Class M. And for lacrosse, Darien, New Canaan highlight the lacrosse brackets, boys and girls, though they are not in the same bracket. Darien in L, New Canaan in M. All of the seeds and bracket information and game times and everything available at ciasports.com. Back to you, Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories of the week, the ones that got the most attention across all of our websites. And Doug Smith, our editorial cartoonist, will also join me, and we'll take a look at some of his Memorial Day cartoons this week, coming up after this. For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000. A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com.
For over 25 years, Mike Cizik Painting and Wallpapering has been the name to know for residential and commercial properties in Fairfield County. He uses only the top brands, including Benjamin Moore, for impeccable preparation and lasting quality. Call Mike now and receive $500 off any job over $7,000. Mike is currently accepting reservations for spring, so call him today at 203-770-8869 or 203-972-3310. For your custom painting, finishing, and staining needs, it's Mike Cizik.
At the Language School in Ridgefield, we teach practical language for real life, tailored to your professional needs or those of your children. Offering more than a dozen languages, the school specializes in creating customized classes for businesses, government agencies, and healthcare professionals in Fairfield and Westchester counties. Native speakers from around the world will instruct students of all ages in the language and the culture using a hands-on method. Find out more about what makes us different at thelanguageschoolglobal.com or call us at 203-241-7010. We're back on this Friday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network, and we're going to take a look at some of the top stories this week across all of our HAN Network websites, the ones that got the most reader attention, including that a woman's body washing up on the shoreline in Stratford on Monday shocked the community there. As we reported earlier in the show, Hearst, Connecticut media reports that the women's children have come forward to identify her as 52-year-old Colleen Ann Kelly of Stratford and Indian Island, Maine. She was a mother of 3 who provided care to the elderly. Her body was found at the Stratford seawall, and Stratford police are investigating what happened. Police and EMS crews responded to the seawall just after 9 a.m. Monday morning. Lieutenant Frankie Iannotti had told reporters at the time that there were no active missing persons reports in Stratford. And another top story this week was news that a young Darien man was arrested Saturday night for allegedly selling heroin. Investigators determined that 25-year-old Kevin Grant of 20 Shady Acres Road was in illegal possession of prescription narcotics and conducted the sale of heroin in Darien during an incident that occurred back in October of 2015. During the past week, Darien officers applied for and were issued an arrest warrant for Grant, charging him with the sale and possession of narcotics. And on Saturday afternoon, investigators determined that he would be selling in the southwest section of Darien. Officers conducted surveillance in a predetermined area in that section of town in close proximity to the Boston Post Road. And shortly after 7 in the evening, officers observed a vehicle driven by Grant arrive at the location the transaction was known to be taking place. Officers then pulled Grant's vehicle over and quickly took him into custody. He suffered some minor injuries during that arrest and was treated and released by Darien EMS Post 53. During the incident, 3 bags of heroin were recovered. And a drug arrest in New Canaan also got a lot of attention this week. New Canaan police found heroin, marijuana, Xanax, and drug paraphernalia in a vehicle that was being operated by 26-year-old Tyler Panetti of Frogtown Road. The incident occurred May 18th at about 8:13 at night after an officer observed a vehicle fail to stop at a stop sign at the intersection of Ponus Ridge Road and Frogtown Road. According to the report, the investigating officer smelled the odor of marijuana and saw some drug paraphernalia in plain view. Panetti then allegedly admitted that there was marijuana and heroin in the vehicle. He was charged with possession of marijuana and narcotics along with some other drug charges. He has a June 1st court date. And many were interested to hear that a location considered one of the last undug Revolutionary War archaeological sites in the U.S. is located in a small area of forest somewhere off Limekiln Road in Reading. While many of the ruins at Putnam Park Revolutionary War encampment have been moved, reconstructed, or changed completely in the 19th and 20th centuries, the ruins off Limekiln Road are just as expansive and have been largely untouched since soldiers left the area in 1779. In essence, many of the rocks making up the rudimentary fireplaces and other structures off Limekiln Road were last moved by soldiers fighting in the Revolutionary War. But there's much more on that story at thereadingpilot.com. And finally, the HAN Network's live coverage of FCX semifinals and championship games were among our top posts of the week, and you can watch all those games on demand at HAN.network. And while you're there, you can vote for the FCX Athlete of the Week. The The HAN Network sports editors and broadcasters have nominated 26 male and female athletes for this week. You can check out the nominees and vote for your male and female picks at HAN.network. But now, since we're getting ready for Memorial Day weekend, we have a special addition to our show today. It usually appears on CT Pulse Wednesdays at 12:30, but Doug Smith, our editorial cartoonist, is drawing conclusions with Yoda. Look at you. I didn't know you were in training.
I know. Yoda's telling me, it's like, jerk you are, you know.
And now we go to what's even better than that cartoon, which is the live Doug Smith, who is rocking his patriotic gear, getting ready for this weekend, Doug. Now, over the years, I'm sure you've done a lot of Memorial Day cartoons.
And I just, I wanted to pay homage to our men and women, and that's why I've got the getup on.
I like it. So let's get into some of those cartoons that we have. Now, I like this one. It says, before you ask if something great is being served at your Memorial Day barbecue, keep in mind that someone great has already served.
Yep.
Very
I really want to
nice.
get it. I want to hammer that message home because, like Christmas, people always say they lose sight of the holidays. It's really the same thing with Memorial Day. People are like, I have a day off, I have a barbecue, I'm going to get drunk. And you lose sight of what it's really about.
Right. And again, of course, you put the grill in there, the barbecue, but always keeping in mind those who gave their lives.
Not the one you should be thanking.
Exactly. Another, you have to keep this because the barbecue is the important theme, right? That's what everyone's doing. Also a really nice one. And I like this one. I think this one's my favorite. Can you tell us about this?
Oh, just talking about, I was thinking to myself, like I have a terrible memory for names, places, faces, but again, one thing you just don't want to forget are our men and women. And
again, asking people what their Memorial Day weekend plans are.
Like going anywhere special, it's like,
I know.
definitely.
And it is important to make it to those events and those memorial services that all our towns are doing. And tell us about this one.
That's the Iwo Jima statue in Washington. I remember seeing it as a kid, just thinking, oh my gosh, those are huge, the size of the statues, but little caption there, well, all of our men and women are truly giants.
That's a good one. I like that one. And I love this one, passing
This was
the
actually
torch.
a Veterans Day cartoon, but it still, hammers home the meaning of what it means for the men and women.
That's great. And this one,
that was
humor.
me back in the 70s.
Is that a draft dodger?
Yeah,
what is happening
that's me
here?
in 1973, and how the hell that get in there, I don't know. Get it out
How
of
did you
here.
lose all that hair in that time span, Doug? The mustache is the same, though. It's a different color now. Well, Doug, I hope you wear those glasses all weekend because they're amazing. And thank you so much for reminding us the reason of the holiday. We so appreciate you coming on and doing this with us.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we are going to wrap things up on this edition of your Coffee Break, wishing everyone a great Memorial Day weekend, and be sure to keep in mind all those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And we will be back Tuesday at 11 with your Coffee Break. See you then.